Good morning. Welcome back to my channel. I have just a little ink haul. As you see, it is Birmingham Pen Company. I got one of their bundles. This one is called the Penny Arcade Ink Bundle. And so we are going to do some swatches. I am using my River City Pen Co. Nib holder with my Kakimori steel nib. I'll be using my ink muddler, and as well as I decided I'm going to do, since there's only 4 inks, I decided I'm going to do the sandwich bag method where, you know, I do kind of a bigger swatch of the 4 of them. So I figured I'm going to just kind of do 1, 2, 3, 4, kind of 4 big swatches, and then we will go from there. So let's get started. I'm going to zoom in and we will get started with swatching this ink bundle. All right, let's get started. So just to kind of give you an idea of what I do when I get my ink from Birmingham Pen Company, I take the box and I put a swatch on. Even though they come with the name now, I still kind of like to see first glance. So I put a little swatch on the top of the box and the side of the box, so when I have it kind of organized, I can just pick the color. And then when I get the bottle, I also put a little swatch on the label as well. So up first, you know, lead right into that. This is called Blue Ribbon. And again, this is the Penny Arcade ink bundle. And I got it for a specific, I liked 3 out of the 4. Blue is not my favorite, but I need to start trying to use more blues. I feel like I don't give them enough credit or enough chance. So let's put a little bit of ink down. And I got my water and rag off to the side. Oops, I don't know why I closed that. I just open that back up. Okay. I think ink swatching with a sandwich bag is just, I love the design it creates. That is actually a really pretty blue. I don't know why I don't grab blues more often. I really don't. Okay. And this one is called Blue Ribbon. Let's just kind of, and this is, oh, hi, let's try spelling. Blue Ribbon. This is really pretty. Yeah, I like that color. I think maybe I just need to start forcing myself to pick blues. Maybe I'll do a blue in July. You know what? Maybe I will do this blue in July. Okay, that is ink number 1. Ink number 2 is called Weathered Penny. And this kind of, I want to compare this one to the last ink I got, which was Jasper Vein. And then I also kind of want to compare it to like Steeped Umber. I think for some reason I feel like this is in kind of that reddish brown category, just from the little swatch I did on the box. Again, I need to stop trying to cap these. Okay. Look at how pretty that is. Yeah, that's like a reddish brown. Okay, let's, Weathered Penny. like that a lot. I kind of want to compare that to I think it's called Benasuchi. I think that's the name of it. There's a few I think I wanted because you can kind of see that is a unique color. I like that one a lot. Yeah, that one. All right, number 3. This one is called Fortune Teller. Look at that. This is going to be a beautiful. I could have made those swatches a lot bigger. You know, well, we'll make the next 2 swatches we'll just kind of do angled, and we'll make these 2 swatches bigger. Just because we have the room to do it. Oh, look at that purple. That is beautiful. Yeah, we're just gonna use up all the things. Let's get my coffee cup out of the way. All right. This is, we'll go down here. That's really pretty. Look at that purple. You know, between this haul and the ink swap I did with Sherry over at Faith and Fountain Pens, I have so many inks I can choose from for July. All right, next up, which is the one that actually got my attention. Obviously, these 2 I really liked a lot, but this one is the one that actually got my attention. So this is called Gumball. And it looked a little bit lighter. It looks a little darker on that swatch on the label, but this is the one that I was like, ooh, what is that? And then I saw Fortune Teller, and then I saw Weathered Penny, and it came in a bundle. It was the same price. If, you know, why did I close that again? It was the same price, you know, because basically you buy 3, you get 1 free. So basically the blue just came along, and I just need to try. Ooh. Oh, look at that. Oh, hopefully we don't get any of that. Okay, look at that beautiful pink. You know, I'd like to compare this to Terracotta from Birmingham Pen Company. And this one is called, am I in frame? This one is called Gumball. Look at how pretty that is. Oh, I like that. Look at that. All right. This is the ink that got me looking at that. So, and I am very happy with it. Okay, let's let these dry and we will come back and take a look at them. Okay, I am back and they are all nice and dry. We'll start with Blue Ribbon. It's got some beautiful dark blue shading, or even almost black, or maybe blue-black shading. Then we've got Weathered Penny, which has this reddish brown, some really pretty shading. It's a beautiful color. Then we've got Fortune Teller. Look at that purple, so pretty. And then we've got Gumball. And what I did while these were drying, and I was trying to find colors that I have that are kind of similar. So with, I don't have a whole lot of blues, but, and I know that as in the Tomorrow River paper is to oppose to the Wearing Gold swatch cards, I know that the ink takes to these a little bit different, and you don't see as much as the properties, because if you compare the two, you know, it just looks a little different on Tomorrow River paper as it does the swatch cards. So what I had was, here's this one, and then I was trying to compare it. So here it is with the Diamine and Colt pens, Taj Mahal. It's very similar, except only in like the base color. If you can see, I'm trying to get like some natural light on there. In the base color, it looks a lot similar. And then you have Diamine Aja Blue. This one in the swatch is similar. This has about, it has kind of a red sheen, so it's a little bit different. And in the writing, it looks quite a bit different. This one's a lot more deeper of a blue, whereas this is lighter. And then the J. Urban Kyanite de Nepal. That one is that kind of a blue, and I'm trying to get it in focus. And this kind of has a red sheen along the edges, or a red halo, but the colors are very similar. And then in the writing, I believe that they are pretty similar. This one is a little bit brighter of a blue, but they are still very similar in the writing. And again, I don't have too many blues to compare that to, but that is the blues. And then for the Weathered Penny, which is a reddish brown, see that? And let's see, I tried it against Diamine Bah Humbug, but that is definitely a lot more red or pink undertones. So I didn't think that was too much of a match. Let me see, Muddy Wine. I thought Muddy Wine was pretty similar, even though this kind of has a pink undertone, but the writing was very similar. I don't know if I can get the writing to focus. But the writing was very similar on these two. And then I had Colorverse Hubble Zoom. And again, very similar with, I don't know if you can see, let's see, let's try to get these in focus. The writing was similar on these ones, but again, same thing. This has a little bit more of a pink undertone or a red undertone, but the darker parts are very similar. And then we had Kookaburra Tail, and again, it was like the writing seemed similar in writing, but the swatches were very different. This has a lot more red than this one does. And then I wanted to compare these two, which was Jasper Vein by Birmingham Pen Company and Weathered Penny. And definitely Jasper Vein has a lot more, let me see if I can get it to focus, has a lot more red in it, and even in the writing, but they are similar. I don't know if I can catch it, but in the writing they look very similar, but this one definitely has a lot more red in the writing. And then let's see, I have Organic Brown. That one was very similar. And And again, this has a little bit more red. I wonder if I should, when I was looking at the browns to compare this to, the browns looked like they were more brown than this. It was kind of a hard one, but yeah, even the writing, the organic brown has a lot more red compared to the weathered penny, but they're similar. I kind of want to compare this color to more river paper. Then we have steeped umber, and I felt that steeped umber was really close to it, but yeah, I think steeped umber was really close to it when it comes to the swatching, but the writing, steeped umber definitely had more of a lighter brown with a red undertone than compared to the weathered penny. So I was having a really hard time figuring out what one this was. And again, as you see in the Tomorrow River paper compared to the Wearing Gold, the swatching is very different. And then the writing though was very similar. So that is that one. And then let's see, the Fortune Teller, which is this one. And again, it looks very different. The writing looks very similar, but the swatching is very different. And the ones I was checking on these ones was Jane Eyre. I thought that one was a pretty good match to Jane Eyre. Let's see if I can get it to focus with some good lighting. I'm using natural light and the window's kind of over there, so I'm trying to compare it. The writing is a little bit different compared. Yeah, but it's very, very similar to Jane Eyre. This one just looks a little bit darker in the swatch. It kind of looks like more of the darker part of Jane Eyre. But I thought that one was a pretty good match. And then I tried it with Sailor Shikiori, Yozakura. But again, I thought that was very different. This is definitely more pink as to opposed to this is more purple. And then we had Birmingham Pen Company, Mountain Thistle. I thought these would be a little bit more similar, but they are not. Mountain Thistle has a lot more gray, grays and pinks compared to the Fortune Teller. Even though the Fortune Teller does have some pink undertones, I think this has a little bit more gray undertones. And then we had, I wanted to compare it to the Birmingham Pen Company Nocturnal Lavender. And again, this has more pink than the Fortune Teller. Yeah. Oh, that's a really pretty color. And then last but not least, I compared it to Little Robina, and it was very similar to Little Robina, to be honest with you. And even in the writing, look at the writing. The writing was very similar as well. So I thought this was like the best match to compare it to. Was this one here, between this one and the Jane Eyre, I think. Were very close matches, but I think these two are a lot more similar. Yeah. Okay, so that one was the Birmingham Pen Company Fortune Teller. And then for the last but not least, when we have Birmingham Pen Company Gumball, look at the difference. So weird how papers can just make a difference. Okay, so first I compared it to Colorverse Abu, but obviously that was a lot different. This is so much more pink and brighter. And then I compared it to the Cherry Blossom, which, look at the similarities. I feel this one has a little bit more like reds and this is more pinks, but the writing samples were so similar. And again, this is a lot more pink, but I thought they were very similar. So there's that pairing. And then I tried it with Robert Oster Melbourne Rose, but definitely more purple in that one. Purples and pinks. The writing sample on Melbourne Rose and Gumball were very similar. I thought they were a lot more similar in the writing. And then I compared it to Ferris Wheel Press Spadina Rose. I thought the swatches were very, very similar. So if you have Spadina Rose, it's very similar. The writing, like the Birmingham Pen Company writing, I thought this match was pretty spot on. I know that this one has a little bit more pink, but like if you have this, you have close to this, or vice versa. But this is definitely like a color on its own, but this is the closest I can find really to that one. Okay, that is my little ink haul from Birmingham Pen Company. I hope you enjoyed this. If you like this, give it a thumbs up and like and subscribe, and we will see you in the next one. Bye.